Here, Rich.
16.
One.
One.
And it's probably going down.
It could be colder. Don't know it.
I got 6 p.m. Everybody ready?
Yep.
I'd like to call the Oglesby City Council meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Here.
Aye, or here.
McDermott,
Here.
Stefani,
Here.
Kern.
Here, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, number 4, public comment on agenda items only. Seeing if there's none, we'll move on. Number 5, approve minutes from the January 6, 2025 regular session. If there's no additions, corrections, or modifications, can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Moyle.
Aye.
McDermott,
Aye.
Stefani,
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. Number 6, approve minutes from the November 4th, 2024 executive session. If there's no additions, corrections, or modifications, can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for the November 4th, 2024 executive session.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Moyle.
Aye.
McDermott,
Aye.
Stefani,
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. Number 7, approve bills presented for payment in the amount of $279,672.40. If there's no additions, corrections, or modifications, can I get a motion to approve the bills?
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Moyle.
Aye.
McDermott,
Aye.
Stefani,
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. Number 8, approve payroll for January 17th, 2025 in the amount of $68,830.63. If there's no additions, corrections, or modifications, can I get a motion to approve the payroll?
I'll make a motion to approve the payroll.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Moyle.
Aye.
McDermott,
Aye.
Stefani,
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. Number 9, presentation on proposed liquor store on Columbia Avenue. I believe, do we have some guests here that would like to come up and talk a little bit about the project that you're looking to do?
Hello everyone,
Hi, how are you?
my name is Pankaj Patel and I have my business partner Kamlesh Kumar Patel here, and we are going to open the new liquor store. Currently the building size is 1700 square feet, but we're gonna extend that the size and we're gonna make it like around 4200 square feet, and it's gonna be the full side liquor store, walking beer cave, and pretty much the brand new liquor store. And currently we own several liquor store, Subway restaurants, and several other businesses there. So we think we're gonna make it good here in this town.
All right, excellent.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anybody have any
You have any
questions?
questions?
I'll go around the room. Stephanie?
Yeah, what, are we just talking about retail sales? Are we talking about gaming? What is it?
Gaming plus liquor store, yes, both.
Gaming and
We're also
liquor.
gonna get the gaming as well.
Okay. I think that's it for me for the moment.
Do you have an idea of how many machines?
6 machines.
6.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a gaming board maximum.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the max, Hillary.
Okay.
McDermott?
So it's just a liquor store. You don't have a bartender or anything, and it's a gaming room.
The gaming room, yes, the gaming room plus separate gaming room plus the liquor store.
Okay.
Baldridge?
You know anything?
How will this compare to our existing businesses like Casey's and Beck's and Shell?
Cases, yeah, they have almost like the convenience store like that, plus the restaurant, but we gonna have the all sides of the liquor, all kind of, all like categories and everything, so.
So my question, I had a couple questions. I think when we talked on the phone about it, for me, one of the concerns is anytime we open up another liquor opportunity in the city, I want to make sure that we're expanding on our capabilities. We're not just bringing something in that's small. And I saw I believe I got an email from somebody that had 3 examples of stores. 2 of them that look, well, they all look really nice. but two of them looked relatively large and one was actually relatively small. So I know it says 4,200 square feet here. I know we have, I think our Beck's store that we have now sells about 40 different varieties of hard liquor. So what I'm kind of curious about is how many different varieties of hard liquor you're going to have. The reason I ask that is my goal is if we're bringing something in that has more capabilities than we currently have, that gives a reason for residents to not necessarily have to leave. Maybe they have to go to, Rudy's or Walmart or something like that. That keeps more tax dollars in town. So I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about how many varieties of liquors you're looking to possibly bring.
Yes, so like pretty much all kind of bourbon, all kind of wines, whatever the like sales around here, we're gonna try like all kind of like more than like 6,000-7,000 SKUs, so.
Do you know how many the varieties are that you might have? I know it might be a tough
Like around,
question.
it's depend, around 6,000-7,000 SKUs, I believe, around that. So 6,000-7,000 different product,
6 to 7. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You said 6 to 7,000 different
Yeah,
products?
pretty much like including the cigarettes and everything, so each individual SKUs.
I guess I should have asked how large Rudy's is or something like that, just so I had a comparison of 4,200 square feet. I wasn't
There
thinking.
are too
it was
many
quite that large.
varieties right now, so
Okay.
all the time change, like every
Wow.
season it does change.
Okay.
So I'm talking about all together.
All right. Well, that's good for me. I only have one other question. I know we talked on the phone about it. I hate to ask this question, but because it came up once in the past, I figured I'd just ask you here. Right now, the city of Oglesby, there's no place that you can go in Oglesby to purchase any drug paraphernalia. So this was an issue in the past. And the question I'm just going to ask you is, do you have any intentions to sell any kind of illegal drug paraphernalia for any kind of illegal drugs?
No, not like any glass products or nothing.
Okay.
Not like.
All right. Those are my only questions I have.
You didn't bring any examples with you, did you?
I didn't bring any examples.
Good idea.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, good
All
idea.
right.
Come on.
We have an open floor now. So does anybody want to?
Jason, just in doing some calculations, that's about 24 by 175 feet. That would be a bigger store than Rudy's, just to let you know.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I should have done that math before I got here. That's
And they are going to have a gaming corner. If you look at
there's a
the
gaming
plan.
corner.
you know,
I do
it takes a
remember
chunk
we
off
talked
it.
about the walk-in coolers. So that's
Do we
impressive.
even have a liquor license available? I
So-
thought we were done with all that.
So that's why it's on the agenda. So I can answer that if we want to talk about that. That's really the
Well,
next
sure,
item.
that'd be the
Yeah.
idea.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I was actually the commissioner that recommended that, because I thought, even though I didn't have any issues with Mayor Rivera, I thought the idea that the mayor alone having the authority to determine what can come in for new liquor stores or bars, I thought that was really too much power for one person. So I made a recommendation that we actually limit that number. So that way the mayor is only authorized to sign liquor licenses for what up to our license is. So that's why we're kind of here right now having this conversation. So, because that's the next item on the agenda.
So you would need to expand the number of liquor licenses in order to be able to grant them one, Tony, is what he's telling you. Because you don't have one available now, correct, Becky?
My understanding is you don't.
Right.
And
That's my understanding too, from the last time we went through.
And that's what we're
as I,
looking to
as I
do.
look at this, all I see is just kind of like this, this drawing here. Do you have other stores that you operate?
Yes, I do.
Do you
One is
have?
located in the Braidwood, one in the Cold City, the full-size liquor store.
Uh-huh. Are
If
you
you
able?
Google it, you will see able to the store.
Are you able to provide us with like photos of what the store looks like and that kind of thing?
Yes,
I mean,
I
I
can
think that would
send
be
it to you,
helpful
yeah.
for me.
Yeah, it might be.
I think that was all sent to you as well.
All I got is
Yeah, I don't have.
And even
This
if you
floor
put in the
plan.
Google, you
There
will
was
be able to
nothing
see the
else sent.
pictures, the existing store.
What are the names of those two stores?
The Route 66 Tobacco Liquor and Gaming.
Both of them?
And other one is the Cold City Liquor.
Thank you,
Thank you.
because we could probably look those up then.
Any other questions for Mr. Patel?
no, thank you, Mr.
All
Patel.
right, thank you.
Well,
Thank you, appreciate it.
I got a couple. Is there any? Okay, we're looking to add one more liquor
Well, we can-
license.
That's the next item.
Okay, and
So number 10, amend ordinance to address the change in number of Class A and B liquor licenses. So this is the item here, what we want to do with it, if we want to modify the ordinance or change it by one or kind of go from there. So I already said my piece, so I'll just go around the room. Stephanie?
I think, I'd like to see pictures of his current stores and how they're laid out and everything else. I think this is a big undertaking here because if, according to Pat, if if this is gonna be bigger than Rudy's, then I think we need to just have our due diligence done. We had said in the past, if I remember right, that we weren't gonna approve anything unless it was like a Dave and Buster's or a TGI Fridays or some sort
Or
of bigger
Hooters.
business that's gonna draw people, so. I just don't wanna rush into something like that. I'm not saying no, I'm just saying I think I need a little bit more information on it. That's me personally. Thank you.
I really don't like limiting the type of businesses we have come in. I feel like it's uncomfortable. We have 20 licenses. Who's to say, how did we come up with they were allowed to present to the council? Is everyone given that same opportunity to expand the liquor license?
Everybody that's ever wanted to come and present to the council
Okay.
has, yes.
Okay, good. I'm open to definitely doing that. I don't think we should just do one liquor license. I mean, because then if another business comes in, we got to do the whole process over again. So
Well, I'm definitely for looking into it. I mean, it's always good to have another business in town. He's also got gaming. Would that affect any of the bars or any or out there Loves or anything? I mean, is that different taxes because he's got a liquor license with it, or it's like the gaming halls we used to have, right? The gaming rooms, you know what I'm talking about, right?
You asking me a question?
Yeah. Would that be
We
the
used to
same
have
difference?
those in the city of Oglesby. We don't anymore though. Yeah, you're talking about where they didn't sell any other products, they were just the gaming.
Right.
So they have to sell liquor, but
Well, they'd have like.
They
a
don't sell
cooler of
much
liquor or
usually,
something.
yeah.
No, not usually.
No, I was never for those in the first place. Because all it does is water down what we have for it doesn't bring new opportunities in town, but anything else?
Yeah, I agree with Commissioner Stefanelli. To my recollection, there was an agreement that you said Dave and Buster's and Hooters, I do believe, was the two you used. Also, I mean, he did say it's 4,200 square feet, which is impressive. Initially, I had suspected that this was just a glorified gaming hall with some bottles of liquor in there. We definitely don't want that. But 4,200 square feet would be a benefit to the city. I would like to have some more information on this, though. Such as Commissioner Stefanelli had said, with pictures to see exactly what we're getting into and what we'll have here in our city. So
So I'll go back to answering your question. So from my understanding is before we had a limitation on, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not even sure if that happened while it was you were here, if it was Andreoni that was here. Do you remember?
I don't know what you're talking about.
When we changed the ordinance over to put a limitation on the liquor licenses?
No, I was here.
You were here for that?
Yeah.
Because I think before that, it was open, right? We didn't
No,
have a
it
limit.
always had a limit on it, but I think we've played with the limits a couple times over the years since I've been here, actually, Jason.
Yeah.
I don't remember, did we expand one the last time, I think, Becky? That's my memory.
You know, really, since the advent of gaming is when the councils have kind of controlled it by just keeping it at a certain number and increasing it on a case-by-case basis.
Right.
I think that even the council previous to you did the same thing.
Yeah, I thought we restricted it down to 20 is what I thought we did.
Well, there's different classes, Jason. So we have so much in this class and so much in this class
you
and so much in this
talk
class.
to the classes. So there's A and B. What is the difference between the two?
Not much.
Okay.
Not much as far as who can have a gaming license anyways. I think one is like open bar and B I think is package.
Okay.
D is, there's no limit on those. And I think we only have 2 licenses of those in the city right now. One of
Those
them.
are like fraternal organizations? Is that D or is that?
No, those are no limit as well. D, I think there's some kind of weird rule about how much their business of alcohol sales compared to other things. So like, I think one of those, for example, is the axe throwing place. They're one of those type of licenses. The Elks, the nonprofit ones, they're in a different category. They don't have a limit on those either. They have to be for nonprofit or something like that. So to me, I think it's the combination of A and B we have set at 20.
I think the last time we looked at this was for the axe throwing place, Becky, is my remembrance. but I could be
That's,
wrong.
that's right.
That sounds right.
Mhm.
That's probably the
Yeah.
last one.
And Hillary, just to let you know, it's not a big deal to change the number of licenses. I mean,
Okay.
we do have to do an ordinance and it has to be adopted, but I've done it several times in the past. It's in the system, so it's just a matter of tweaking it and changing the number. So don't worry about that if that's a concern of yours. You said something about doing
Well-
this again.
I like the idea of bringing in new, different kinds of businesses to Oglesby. I really do, and I feel like it kind of originally, I felt like that you kind of have to get the favor of the council to even start a business here in Oglesby. And I don't really want that reputation.
Well, you're always going to have to start a liquor business, I can tell you,
Right,
Hillary.
right.
Which is what the request is here, which is why we're
Mhm.
talking about licenses. No matter what, you're always going to have to. go
Right.
to
I
the
just didn't
council.
want it to be a favoritism.
No, I totally get
Right.
that.
Yeah.
So I believe what Mr. Baldridge is talking about is when we first took over, I talked to people a little bit about this whole, the liquor license and stuff like that. And I did give the example of, obviously we want to restrict, make sure we don't have other type of businesses coming in that we don't want to control. An example of one that we would obviously want is if we ever had something crazy like a Dave and Buster's or a very large restaurant type thing on the interstate, that would be something that would be a no-brainer, obviously. That doesn't mean I think that we need to wait for something of that size. In my opinion, I don't want to bring something in that we already currently have in town, because all that does is it waters down what we have between our businesses and stuff like that. What I'm a fan of, if it's bringing something into the capability that we don't already currently have. And to me, a liquor store that is bigger than inventory than we currently have. I didn't realize it was going to possibly be bigger than Rudy's. That's even opens it up to a whole other thing that's very interesting. But as long as it was larger than we have in the Vex, to me that keeps tax dollars in town. But if we're going to get something that's even larger than that, now you're bringing people into the town for something like that. So
There's all kinds of possibilities.
yeah, so for me, it's a no-brainer. And just so you know, I did send it out to the council. I got the information in. It had 3 stores in there. I believe there was numbers and addresses and links. I have not gone to the locations, but I did go to Google and I saw the pictures of the storefronts. That's how I know what they look like in the interiors. And they all look great. 2 of them though were quite large, and I was really impressed by those. So.
And if we're expanding onto this building, obviously we're talking about building permit related stuff. So I'd have an interest in seeing what the plans look like and what it is that we're proposing and how the inventory is going to be laid out and if the aisles are going to be wide enough to accommodate emergency egress provisions. So
ADA.
So
sure, of
so-
course.
all that stuff though that would be a much later level for them to do the building permit and stuff like that. This is just the purpose of, obviously they're not going to want to come here if we don't have a liquor license available.
I think they should run simultaneously. I don't think you want to get in the business of just giving out a liquor license and then all of a sudden you get this other stuff. The I's aren't dotted and the T's are crossed. And I'm not trying to hold anybody up. I'm just saying like, okay, I think as a city, we're willing to promote business and bring in good business, but at the same time, we have, especially if it's liquor and gaming related, we have an obligation to make sure that we've done our homework and that there's not any issues and that everything is spoken for.
Okay.
Truly, that's how
done
I
right.
feel about it in the most sincere, genuine way.
Well, I think what we put out is that the only thing they really have to do is, because it's just a vote between the council. All they really have to do is just kind of give us the confidence that we feel that we want to move forward with it. But if there's something more the council wants, then that's, you guys have the control of that. I'm in favor of it now if they tell me that. Because I mean, we could always stop the process someplace else if they were going to build something that they said they weren't. You know what I mean? With a building permit process or planning or anything.
You can do all kinds of stuff with
Right,
it, but I
yeah.
think when you start handing out liquor licenses, you want to make sure that these things are kind of addressed and spoken for. You don't want to get into, okay, here's your liquor license, and then you have other problems. And they don't strike me as that kind of people. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, these are things, let's look at the whole kit and caboodle. Let's see what we got on the table there.
Well, I don't
I
want
mean,
to
it's a big undertaking. If we're talking about that, this could be the biggest liquor store in our area amongst the 3 towns. I think for us,
Right.
before we just go and give it a rubber stamp, let's just make sure that everything is spelled out the way that it needs to be and have everything there.
Well, again, this is just the liquor license. We could have had open liquor licenses already, right? So this is all this is right here. So if there's more information the council wants, we can talk about that, or we can make a motion, or we can table it, or whatever people would like to do.
I mean, I'd be inclined to table it for just this meeting and then come back to it. you know, I mean, it's,
Do
I
you
think in
want
2
to
weeks.
request additional stuff for them to
We,
submit?
yeah, additional
Yeah,
information.
I mean, I believe I spoke to it. I don't wanna get long-winded.
Right, just be
Yeah.
concise. We would like you to submit this.
Yeah, just, you know, how you plan on adding on to the building and how everything would be laid out. And that, you know, then it gives us a better feeling about making these tough decisions.
But for that additional, we have to spend the money on that, you know. But we have, sure, we have the legal license, then we can start, hire the architect and lay down the design, you know, according to the village rules and everything. So we have to make sure that we have the legal license, then we can move forward with that.
Okay, you're saying before you can start laying the foundation down and everything else and showing us pictures and what you're requesting, you want to make sure you have a liquor
We can do the
license
initial
first.
drawing, you know, how it is gonna look like, you know.
Okay.
I mean, that's-
Okay, he's wanting the liquor license for us first.
So let's be specific. What would you like to see for us to approve this at the next meeting then?
Well, I'd like to see more than just this floor plan that was given to us here. I mean, you know, here's what we have, right? I mean, that's granted, I mean, it gives you a general concept, but it doesn't really give you any measurements. It doesn't kind of give you any picture from the street of how you make access to it. I mean, I just need a better understanding. That's all. I mean, I'm not asking them to go spend money with an architect or an engineer or anything like that. I'm just saying something a little bit more descriptive than this would be helpful for us to understand what it is that we're working with.
So the only concern I have with that is usually the next phase would be that you would get some kind of like engineer or architect in here and start doing drawings or something like that. So I just want to be clear on what we're going to ask them to do. So we're asking that you want a more updated drawing that has dimensions in there and.
Yeah, and I'd like to see how the layout's going to be. I mean, I'm not asking them to provide elevations and drawings that would come from an architect or an engineer. But what I'd like to see is, you know, how do you enter the store? Are you going to have double doors? What's your egress? You know, are you going to have a back door? This is all simple stuff. I mean, you're running a liquor store there, so obviously you want to make sure that these I's are dotted and T's are crossed.
And with a building that big, with a gaming room,
That's what I'm
you
saying.
got
Is, you know,
the safety of
those
the
are
people
things
as
that
well. fire
I'm not
department.
asking for anything out of the ordinary. In other municipalities, they wouldn't even give you the license if you didn't have that stuff.
Okay, so I guess what we're asking for is we're going to table it for until next meeting, hopefully be able to prove it if they can bring us something that has a little bit more defined layout.
Yeah. Wouldn't you
Yeah.
want to know like how the layout's going to be of the store, if the aisles are going to be big enough, or
Well, to me, that's all part of the whole building permit process, in my opinion.
well,
This
that's fine.
This has a layout here of what we have, what we see, and
Okay, if you're happy with that.
I'm happy with it, but I mean, it's up to the council. So if that's what you're asking for is a little bit more layout design
Mhm.
and dimensions, and that would be, okay. If everybody feels that way, then I guess we can table it for one more meeting and go from there.
I think that's reasonable. I think we're talking about another liquor license. 2 weeks
Probably
is not
should.
going to
Go around
make or
everybody
break
else.
anybody.
Thoughts on that?
If that's what they want. I'm okay either way, because
Okay.
quite honestly, I was okay
Well-
with this diagram.
Okay. McDermott?
Well, I'm pretty sure if everything comes, what we're expecting, what we're looking for, I don't think the council would have any problem issuing another liquor license.
Baldridge?
I agree with them. I don't think 2 weeks is going to set anybody back. I mean,
Okay. Well, let's get a motion to table it until next meeting.
I'll make a motion to table.
And I'll second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Moyle.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
Kern.
Hi. Okay, so what we'll do is something a little bit more detailed on the floor plan and get some,
As architect, you know, for the laydown and the design.
yep, and a little bit of a layout, and then we'll get it on the agenda, and then hopefully we'll get it approved. And I was very excited to hear about the size, so I think people will be
And
as
maybe
well.
photos of your other stores would help them be comfortable with the situation too.
I provide.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
you. Thank you very much, Mr. Patel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, number 11, appoint Ross Baker, city engineer. I'll go around the room, see if anybody has any comments on it. I was going to talk a little bit about it.
So the first thing I have is out of respect for Ross and his family, I would hope that after we go through and make our motions and that we could take a few moments so Ross could have nice picture in that. I want to thank Jim Kleinert again for his time and all that he has done for the city as Ross's predecessor. And I'm excited for you, Ross. It's always nice to see a young guy get a chance to do some good things. And you have my confidence, and I look forward to watching you do good things. So thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Ross. I just met you tonight, so welcome.
McDermott.
Well, as everybody on the council knows, Ross has been working with the wastewater treatment plant. I really appreciate that, Ross. Naturally, I'm for Chamlin's and I want to miss Jim not being the city engineer as well. Welcome aboard, Ross.
Aldridge.
I'd like to thank and wish Jim a happy retirement. I'd like to congratulate Ross and look forward to working with you. Thank you.
All right. My only comments are, I'd like to thank Jim Kleinert for, I believe, 21 years that he's been with the city in some capacity doing something for engineering. That's a really long time. That's a long time to move a lot of crap,
He called you old, Jim.
pun intended.
He just called you old.
That's a long time. I said it's a long time. He might have started when he was 15. I don't know. So, and Ross Baker, I had an opportunity to first meet Ross Baker when we were going through this whole process about the water rate stuff. So a couple things with this. One, there was a lot of turmoil about what we want to do about the rates. So I got to meet Ross, and he was the numbers guru back then. And so I'd sit down with him and say, well, we want to see if we can look at a different financial model. And I think he skinned that cat about 6 different ways, and nobody liked it. At the end of the day, they liked his original design, his original schematic of everything that he had in the first place to move away with. So one of the things I really like about working with Ross is he's subject to a lot of the difference of opinions and sometimes disagreements when it comes to different things. And I love how he'll just kind of stand there for a little bit. And after everybody's done talking, he'll come back to him and be like, okay, the engineering, and he'll just tell you how it is. So I do appreciate that. Sometimes it's a little dry for engineers, but we need that. So I appreciate that and welcome aboard. If we can get a motion to, I'd like to nominate Ross Baker as the new city engineer. If I can get a motion to appoint.
I'll make a motion that we nominate Ross Baker as the new city engineer.
Second.
Roll call,
Thank you.
please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Moyle.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
Curran.
Okay.
All right. You want to
Come
take
on
any
up,
pictures
Ross.
or anything?
Bring the family. Come on, let's go around.
Thank you, Mr. Bishop.
Thanks, Pat.
Always nice working with you,
All right,
Ross.
that means you got to do at least another 21 years.
That's right. Glad to be here. Congratulations. Thanks. I appreciate it. Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, so do you guys want to come around?
Yeah, I
Take like
guess
a
so.
nice
I guess
picture
so.
instead of
All
everything.
right.
You too, Pat. You're part of this. City clerk?
No.
Yeah, you're part of this. You're an appointed official.
Thank you. Sit here and take notes.
Would your parents like to
Yeah,
come up and
please.
take that?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on, yeah, just stand right here and we'll go back to our seats and stand around you guys so this way.
Can we switch phones? We get one with everyone around them?
Sure.
And
Second.
And then we do this again after the baby's born.
another one?
All right. Thank you. Congratulations. Appreciate it.
Let's get back to work.
Thank you.
All righty. Short intermission.
Well, hang on, we forgot one.
We did ask if
I think we should
Ross
take a
wanted-
picture with Ross and Jim.
What Ross said, Jim?
Jim, come
Jim,
on.
how about you?
It's- it's-
He said he shaved.
Yeah, yeah, come on. Come on, Jim, you're clean shaven and everything else, and you got the proper garb on. You got the proper garb on. So would it be a good idea to put Ross and Jim right in the middle?
Sounds a day.
We got a torch we can hand on?
Got a gavel, pick that up.
Don't give Jim a gavel. You don't want that. Here we go. There we go. Perfect, thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't think she's up like that.
All right. Thanks for that short intermission there. Okay. Number 12, approve raffle licenses. I don't know if there's much to talk about with this one. I think the last one I saw in here was in regards to was it IBCC, I believe. So, any questions on that? Anything anybody has on it?
No, we've done this in the past, right?
McDermott,
No,
Aldridge?
self-explanatory.
Nope, I think it's a good thing. All right, if I can get a motion to approve the raffle licenses.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call,
Thank you.
please.
Aldridge.
Aye.
Moyle.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
Kern.
All right. For 13, old business. First one, only one, update building codes for Public Act 103-051. Stefanelli.
All right, so we're not going to take action on this because we don't have any of the paperwork, the official paperwork done. But this is the second time that this is before you, and I met with Pat, and we got some of the formalities worked out, and I'm glad to answer any questions that you guys may have if you have any, so that the next time that this comes around, it'll all be in front of you, and Pat will have used his time diligently, and we're good. So if you have questions, I'm glad to answer any of them. I know you've had some.
Well,
It's not in the meeting stuff.
It's in the Dropbox from the last
Ah,
meeting. the
okay.
whole layout.
I have no questions.
it's very long. All the
Yeah.
red stuff's all the changes. It's
And
Okay.
boring and dry.
Okay.
pre-draft. McDermott,
Well, I actually looked through it and looks pretty good.
Thank you, Mac.
Aldridge.
Problem.
I have nothing.
I'll do my best to get it done for the next meeting.
So
Thanks, Pat.
in general, I
Thank
have no problem with the idea that we are updating building codes to make things more safe.
Mhm.
I did have one resident reach out to me, and they made a good point about something. And my only concern is I don't want to make, and I don't even know if this is the answer or not. I don't want to have anything that's more restrictive than some of our neighboring towns. That's
Mhm.
my only concern.
Mhm.
Obviously, I'm sure as the larger you get, the larger the city, you're going to have a lot more building code restrictions and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
my only concern would be is if like our nearest neighbors, like Peru or LaSalle, because they're larger than us, if we would have something that'd be more restrictive than they do, that would concern me, because then that could put us in an economic disadvantage to where somebody might not want to build here, they might want to build somewhere else. So that's my only 2 cents. And I'm not here to say if something is too strong or too much or anything like that. I know one of the concerns I had was with the 3,000 square foot house required to put sprinklers in. I know we have the opportunity that we can waive that. I don't know if that would make a developer concerned if you do want to purchase the land and develop here ahead of time. But those are just some of my concerns.
Okay, so do you have a question?
I'm just-
Because I'm happy to answer them and
I'm
we
just
can be
making-
constructive.
My only statement, no, I'm just trying to make a statement of that because I don't know, I'm not familiar with Peru. And
Well,
LaSalle
that's why you
building
got the
codes.
experts sitting next to you to help you with this. So I did go to Peru and I did go to LaSalle and I spoke with both of them. And Peru hired in somebody from HR Green or HH Green to come in and actually give them recommendations on it. Well, that person has the same certifications and criteria that I carry. They look at the town, they look at the different challenges and how they're laid out, and then they base their recommendations off of it. So to compare to Ottawa or to compare to Peru would be comparing apples and oranges because of the layout. You know, downtown Peru in the Route 6 area there can be comparable to our downtown slightly, but the Route 251 corridor is totally not comparable because we have nothing like that. So that's how it goes about as far as with them. Whoever made their recommendations looked at how they were laid out, and that's where they base their restrictions off of. In LaSalle, they're working with less than what the state minimum is right now. So they're in the process of doing the same thing that we're doing. And I had a very great conversation with their building inspector. And once I had kind of laid out to him what I was proposing for the council here, he had asked me that after we were done to circle back with him because there was some things that he liked that he wanted to take out of there. As far as the residential part in the homes, right now, what we currently have requires sprinkler systems in new construction homes. Now, we haven't enforced that, but our rules say that we're supposed to be doing that. Now, what I've done is I've looked at the other municipalities in the suburbs where it discouraged builders when they had that 0 square footage tolerance, that no matter if you're building 1,000 square foot home or a 5,000 square foot mansion, you have to do it. The way they did it was when they adopted that code, they excluded that particular portion of it, and they made their own local amendment. By law, we're able to do that. So that's what I did with that. And I figured 3,000 square foot was what they went by. And I thought that that was reasonable. If you're building above and beyond 3,000 square feet for 1% of the overall construction cost, I think it's reasonable to say, okay, we want that improved level of safety. You don't want that house burning down. In the downtown area, there's a zero tolerance or a 0 square footage. And the reason for that is I would refer you to like Granville or Spring Valley, where they had a catastrophic fire in their downtown area, and it basically left an eyesore for an extended period of time. Now, I don't think we would want that. I don't think the other building owners would want that. That would be, that would be a sore eye. So really, our restrictions in some ways are going to be, yes, more restrictive than some of our neighboring towns. In different areas, they may be more relaxed than our neighboring towns. But the way that those came about are particular and custom to what our layout is and the way that we're composed. So when it comes back next meeting, if there's more focused questions, I'm happy to answer any questions. There's a method to the madness. There's a reason behind all of it. And I pride myself as the guy who's studied this stuff for years and years and years and works doing it. There's a reason for all of it.
I appreciate any time that somebody has expertise and they put the time and effort into something like that. So I'll just go with my very basic question. Are we more restrictive than Peru or LaSalle? If the answer is no.
Yes and no. In some areas we are, and in some we're not.
I think you've
It's
said
hard.
that
It's hard
already.
to just
Yeah.
say, okay, here's this package. Is it more or less restrictive? In certain areas, yes, it's going to be. In the commercial areas, it's more restrictive than what they have.
Okay.
But at the same time, we have a different challenge. They can bring in big box businesses. So for them, to be more restrictive doesn't really make sense. For us to be more restrictive with the little bit of area that we have, it makes a lot of sense because you're talking about a smaller footprint there and you want to maintain and make sure that you don't have problems there. A sprinkler building would make all the difference, not just to the neighboring buildings, but also to first responder safety. Our fire department, if we have to send those guys in there, sending them into a sprinklered building fire versus a building that's not sprinklered is a difference of night and day. I mean, that's where you're talking about line of duty deaths and that kind of stuff coming into play. So,
Yeah, when it comes to downtown, I'm not as concerned about, being too restrictive there. I think that's important. In fact, if I remember right, there's one building job that we actually shut down. And we did it because there was an issue that popped up, and I think it was like 2 weeks just after the entire block burnt down in Mendota. So we want to make sure that we were being proactive about that.
Well,
So
there you go.
That's what we're doing.
There
So
you
if
go.
that's the area we're talking about more restrictiveness, I don't think there's a concern there.
I hope I addressed your concerns.
I hope so too.
All right. Only you know. So
You'll
Okay.
be bringing
Thank
us something next-
Okay, so there's no action on that one, that you're just hoping that for next item. Okay. 14, new business. I see nothing here. Number 15 is public comment on any topic. I thought Jim was coming to the podium. Oh,
He's
okay.
retiring right now.
I've got a question I didn't think to ask before it started. Is it all right to give a handout? Would you like to see it before I hand it out?
Because, no, I mean, if you ask, that's fine. If you'd like to approach and hand something
Yeah,
out, that's
just
fine.
want to take a look at it. Just
Yeah.
hand it over right away.
Whatever you want.
But I think I made enough for, I think I made enough for the audience too.
Thanks, Jay.
A few more people out in the cold than I anticipated.
Thank you.
See a lot
And
of,
there is information on the back of it also, if you didn't notice.
so I want to say that there is a lot of information here, and you still only get 5 minutes to speak.
Okay, I'll talk fast. At this time, I'm going to address some of the statements made and questions posed by Commissioner Stefanelli that were directed at me. First, the cost of the city manager. Commissioner Stefanelli has stated several times the cost will be $250,000 to $350,000. It appears he is basing this on much larger cities such as Bloomington, Normal, or Chicago suburbs. For example, Bloomington city manager gets $220,000. And if you go up into the suburbs, you can find 300. So yeah, there are people out there 250 to 300, but salaries for small cities are much lower. The handout I have supplied you with outlines my calculation, and it arrives at a cost of $192,041. This is based on a salary of $125,000, which is based on the information on salaries at the bottom of the handout. There are 4 cities listed in the salaries from ZipRecruiter and salaries.com. And by that, I mean those 2 services give average salaries for city managers. So that's just not one, that is their average. The average of all of these is $119,544. I rounded it up to $125,000 for the sake of discussion. The total cost of $192,041 includes health insurance, pension, payroll taxes, and $5,000 of miscellaneous expenses added to the $125 to arrive at the $192,041 cost, which is considerably less than $250,000 to $350,000. The question is, how were these numbers arrived at? Next, Commissioner Stefanelli has made an issue of me not knocking on his door and asking him to sign the petition. He painted the picture that I approached all his neighbors and when he was the only one I didn't ask. I'm not sure how you define neighborhood. I did knock on the doors of the 9 residents to the north of you, the 2 to the south of you on your side of the street. I did talk to the 2 further south because they happened to be out when my wife and I were taking a walk. And I had known them for a long time, so I wanted to get their opinion because I do value it. I did not approach any of the 16 residents on the other side of Oakwood, nor did I ever approach the 15 behind you. So I'm not quite sure how you're coming to the conclusion I just kind of skipped you.
That sounds like you cherry picked them, but go ahead.
It's very picky, huh? I can be a lot more picky than you think I can. I do
Sure.
for a living doing it taxes.
Go for
Just
it.
remember that. I'm trying to be nice and keep an even thing. I want to discuss issues, okay? Sometimes in discussing issues, you have to establish credibility, okay? So when somebody starts questioning my credibility, I will respond. He has also made an issue of me. He has also made an issue of me not approaching various groups in the city. This is true. My response is I chose to exercise my right to circulate a petition, which I absolutely have the right to do, and go directly to the citizens of Oglesby so they could decide if they want the opportunity to change the form of government and not have various groups make the decision for them. Based on the discussions and the results I had on the petition I personally circulated, the citizens of Oglesby want a change in the form of government. On the back of the page that I handed out, there is a summary of the results of the petition so you can follow along. 44 people signed, 5 declined because they wanted more information, which we are trying to correct. 2 did not want to sign it, and 5 declined to sign it because they were afraid it might jeopardize their job or someone they knew's job or their business with the city. So that's not a good statement. That's not a good situation. In total, 56 citizens were asked to sign the petition. 44 signed it. 79% of the people signed the petition. That's almost 4 out of 5 people.
They were asked.
What?
4 out of 5 people that were asked, correct?
Yes, that is correct. That is a correct statement.
Okay.
You can draw your own conclusions as to whether there is this very strong interest in changing the form of government. The question was raised when circulating the petition if I pointed out there is a cost for a city manager. I stated I did make that point. When I was talking to the people, I was telling them I estimated it would be between 100 and 150, and there would be additional cost to that. So these people didn't sign it thinking they're going to get a city manager for $75,000, believe me. Okay, I made it very clear you were in excess of 100,000. So they know there's a cost. Later in the council meeting, it was implied the cost was not mentioned. Basically, that's causing me a liar. If you're worried about the 5 minutes, I think the gentleman up here last time took a hell of a lot more than 5 minutes at the last meeting. Later in that council meeting, it was implied the cost was not mentioned. Basically, that's calling me a liar. I'll let the citizens of Oglesby decide if I'm lying. Need to remember, in circulating the petition, I walked the streets and talked to the people and did not try to influence them. They did know I wanted the form of government change. That I made apparent. But I did talk to them and tried to let them make an honest answer. 79% agreed there should be a change of form of government. In closing, I'm asking the citizens of Oglesby to attend the meeting tomorrow night regarding the forms of government. The meeting at the Elks-Inn is sponsored by the Oglesby Planning Commission. You can attend in person or you can view it online. I don't know if it's going to be streamed or not, but it will be online sooner or later. So if, I guess for the people looking now, they can watch it online later. Keep an open mind and then form your own opinion. And above all, vote April 1st. The majority of the citizens of Oglesby should make the decision on Oglesby's form of government going forward. And that's all I've got to say. Thank you for your time, even if I ran over 5 minutes.
Appreciate it. Are there any other
Thank
comments on public, any other public comment on any topic? Seeing there's none, we'll move on to number 16, commissioner reports. Commissioner Stefanelli.
Well, thank you. I want to start off by welcoming Commissioner Moyle to the council. Hillary, I have no doubt you'll do a great job, and welcome. In our last council meeting, the mayor once again said that the other elected officials and the city employees union were spreading misinformation. He admitted no fault to his inflammatory comments during his November 18th Facebook performance. And this has been a common theme. And for anyone who cares to pay attention, every time his response is that anyone who takes issue with him, he calls a liar or says that they spread misinformation. The problem from day one with this council has been a lack of leadership and not the form of government. Being a true leader is not taking the attitude of I'm the highest ranking person here or you'll do what you're told. This isn't the military. This is local government. Persuading the people around you that an idea is a good one and listening and incorporating their ideas is how true leaders lead. Before Commissioner Moyle, you have seen two commissioners change from this seat, and the mayor couldn't play nice with either one of them. Kind of hard to say that the form of government is the cause of that. Mayor insisted that he has never said anything incorrect. You've never heard him accept blame, admit fault, or apologize for anything. That should speak volumes about the lack of leadership. Every time that there's been some undesirable exchange up here, the mayor was the instigator, and there has never been a nasty exchange between two commissioners who disagreed or voted differently from one another. Commissioners can act like adults when they see things differently. And just so I'm not called a liar or not accused of spreading misinformation, go back and look at any of the past meeting videos instead of taking my word for it. And lastly, again, Mr. Baxter or this mayor, I'm still waiting on the question that I asked over several meetings. At this point, I'm not optimistic that either person will be straight about why changing this form of government proposition wasn't examined before being taken to the courts. And they'll continue to run away from the fact that this mayor is the only person on this current council who is responsible for removing the examination of all forms of government from the city's comprehensive plan in 2019. So why won't Jay Baxter acknowledge that vital fact? Was he blindsided by the mayor, or is he not genuine about his concerns and how he approached this? Kind of hard to go tell your neighbors, most of whom now regret signing that petition, when all your information came from this mayor, which is the underlying problem. And I'll keep account on how much money Jay
Excuse me,
Baxter
sir,
and
he
this
gave
mayor
you the
will end up
respect.
costing this city with this underhanded
you the
attempt and
respect, sir.
report
Give
those
him the
figures
respect.
back during the upcoming council
fair.
meetings. for the month of December, we have spent $1,285.30 on this changing form of government fiasco. That's all I have. Thank you.
Commissioner Moyle.
Well, mine's going to be very short. I've only been in the seat for 2 weeks, and I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for the overwhelming support that I've received from the community, from the fellow commissioners, from the mayor, even the clerk's office, department heads, employees. I mean, I'm just truly overwhelmed by how many people are willing to help me. I have a lot to learn, but I'm excited, and I look forward to serving the people of Oglesby.
Thank you. Commissioner McDermott.
Welcome, Hillary. I'd like to make a statement. There is a meeting Wednesday night at the Elks for the form of government, the city manager. But I'd like for everybody to keep in mind, this is a board meeting. The questions will be, they will ask questions first, then the audience will. I would like to thank Ken Fezick, the Elks. I would also hope that everybody shows up. I know I will be there, and we are looking into the best possibility we can to record that. I would also like to thank the individual who reported the flag at the wastewater treatment plant. I appreciate it. The commissioners up here, we do get along for the most part, and we all try to get along with the mayor. That's basically all I have. Anybody have any questions for me, feel free to call or talk to me. Done.
Commissioner Baldridge.
Yeah, I'd like to once again thank Commissioner Mayor Finley for his great leadership and dedication exhibited by stepping up once again to help our great city. It was a privilege to serve with him. Welcome, Commissioner Moyle. Thank you for showing interest and making the choice to dedicate your time and efforts to contribute by making the decisions that must be made for our city for at least the next couple of years. I acknowledge and appreciate what your family has accomplished in shaping Oglesby for many decades. It's great to have another lifelong resident serve on this council. I truly appreciate the historical knowledge and unique perspectives you will bring to this council. I'd like to thank JP and the electric department for collaborating to quickly replace the flag at the wastewater treatment plant. Just a reminder to whoever contacted the mayor for the flag, thank you. We appreciate letting him know. But in the future, please contact commissioner.baldridge@oglesbyil.gov or 815-481-4636 with any of your concerns about electric parks or any public properties. As the commissioner having oversight of those departments, I will work with the relative city departments and personnel to rectify any and all concerns ASAP as usual. Thanks again. In regards to the speech that was given here, I noticed a couple costs that you may have probably overlooked, I'm sure. One would be the cost of transportation, and two would be the cost of assistance, but I guess we'll discuss that at some other time. We're not fielding questions at this time.
Thank you. First of all, let's see, number 17, mayor's report. I guess I should start with, I'm sorry, Commissioner Stefanelli, I didn't really catch all the things that you said there. You kind of had me stuck at something about Commissioner Udis leaving because of the mayor. So that after that, I really
don't think I
didn't.
said any of that.
said
I'm
something-
happy to read it
something-
back to you. Those weren't my
Okay.
words, and I didn't bring up
That's okay.
Commissioner Udis.
You said something about two people leaving the seat, something before, but that's okay.
Bring
Okay.
Commissioner
Thank you.
Udis' name up at all.
So, first thing is, number one, Commissioner Hillary Moyle, welcome. I appreciate you coming here. So the funny thing is, I just want to make a mention of this. So we've had women on the city council before. We've even had mothers on the city council before. But we haven't had young mothers on the council before that I know of. And one of the funny things is the night that I found out that there was no other candidates, so I called her to give her a congratulations of a provisional, being the next provisional commissioner. I got her voicemail. She wasn't available. I had to leave a message. So she called me back about an hour and a half later and says, I'm so sorry I missed your call. I was very busy doing bath time for my kids and stuff like that. So when I heard that, it really kind of warmed my heart because those are the kinds of things you think about, that moms are busy with little kids. So I appreciate that you're here, and I look forward to having a new perspective on it, especially from a young mother. So next one up, number 2, I think there was a Facebook post on the city's page about the IMUA scholarship. It more than doubled this year. It's up to $2,500. We actually had a winner last year from Oglesby. So I would highly suggest that if there's any seniors out there that are, they're going to go off, if you're going to go off to college, you're going to be doing essays in college. It's a great opportunity to get some practice. Essays aren't too difficult to do. I mean, especially if you have to get some time to go through it, review it. I think there's 4 topics you can pick from. I'd certainly love to see. I think we'd all be proud to know that another Oglesby resident could win back-to-back years for that. Number 3, the Plan Commission meeting. Obviously, I think we've heard about that a little bit. It's on Wednesday night. I did have an opportunity. Ken Fesick and I did have an opportunity to meet with one of the presenters. I'm actually very excited for it. One of the I don't know much about the other presenter, but the one presenter is local to Illinois. He was the city manager for Streeter for 11 years, and he retired as the city manager of Decatur, Illinois. So I think he said he would be available to come multiple times if we need to have multiple meetings. The other gentleman is somebody that comes from DC. So I think this might be the only time he's going to have a chance to come. I am a little nervous about that because I heard we might not have streaming services available down there. But I do know that we're bringing in some video camera equipment that we're going to record it, and it should be available to be streamed the next day. So
This was sent to the planning commission. I have questions on why you would have conversations with the presenter.
I was invited.
If none of the commissioners were,
I believe it's my report.
well, I believe that's biased and influencing the process. That's exactly the problem that we've been experiencing out here from
To
day
be
one.
expected.
Okay. So I do have one thing to say. Okay. So I do have one thing to kind of read here I put together. Good evening, everyone. I'm excited for tomorrow's Plan Commission meeting, where facts will finally have their day. Lately, there's been a lot of chatter, some of it uninformed, some of it deliberately misleading about the manageable form of government. Let me cut through the noise. I won't waste much time here debunking every wild claim, such as $350,000 manager salaries, 20% tax hikes, closing the Dickinson House pool and ball fields, reducing union positions, or how we must have an elected city clerk and no other option. Let the professionals tomorrow handle those inaccuracies. What I want to address are a couple of examples raised in this chamber to argue against a city manager that likely won't be covered tomorrow night. First, Corpus Christi, Texas. A city 83 times our size was mentioned in an example of a manager gone rogue with raising his own pay. But a quick fact check on news articles reveals their manager's raise was voted on by their city council. It was performance-based with market rate adjustments, and not just for him, but for all employees. Then there's Fernandina Beach, Florida. It was used as an example for a high turnover rate for city managers. You want to know something amusing? They have city commissioners. Not a true council manager form of government like we're discussing. They have a city commission instead of a city council. So their own example of why city manager form is bad has commissioners. Why cherry pick cities 1,000 miles away of instead of looking locally? Because those examples don't hold water here in Illinois. Now about the union employees who spoke up at the last meeting. I want to be crystal clear. I respect the strength and solidarity of union brotherhood. It was critical to my family growing up, and it's something I deeply admire. But let's not confuse respect for unions with accepting information without verifying facts. The truth is, I've been one of their biggest advocates. I fought for double time pay on Sundays and holidays, along with getting paid meal breaks for extended emergencies in the contract. I pushed for targeted raises to keep linemen competitive in a tight labor market, which was a fight in itself with 2 other commissioners. I've worked to boost morale, whether it's through holiday parties, with furnishing the alcohol even out of pocket, or even bringing hot chocolate to workers on Christmas Eve, resolving an outage, and simply just being there when duty calls. So with employee concerns, I respect our workers and dedication to Oglesby. I never said anyone ever falsified a time card, but oversight and structure matter. And there absolutely have been instances where employee matters should have been handled far better. Our current system has gaps that no amount of goodwill can fill, with elected officials being employees' direct supervisors. A city manager would relieve the tension an elected official feels when having to manage unfortunate discipline issues that are bound to happen. If the taxpayers knew the details, I'm certain they would be supporting stronger accountability. Finally, let me clear up a rumor that seems to be intentionally floating around, so much so that even the news media decided to pick it up recently. No, I never had a desire to ever become Oglesby's city manager. 1, the job deserves somebody with broader municipal experience than I currently possess. 2, the position must be politically neutral, unlike us elected officials. And 3, for those that don't know, I already have another full-time job and I'm not looking for another. While I know this issue has sparked strong opinions from people afraid to lose their distinctive authority, this shouldn't be about me or anyone's personal agenda. This change doesn't diminish council authority, it strengthens it by improving overall oversight and coordination. This is about what's best for Oglesby. If we can cut through the disinformation and focus on the facts, I believe the choice will be clear. Again, I greatly look forward to tomorrow night. That's all I have. So with that being said, number 18.
I have a couple comments to make.
That's not how it works.
That is how
man.
it works.
That is not how it works.
Well, then go ahead and take your motion.
Just because
Make your
I
motion.
make
Make your
the
motion.
mayor's report, you just want to just keep talking.
No, I don't want you to sit up here and lie to people and think you're going to get away with
I'm
it by
not lying
slamming
about
bullshit.
anything.
You are,
You'll have
Jason.
your opportunity.
Well, then
to
give me
speak
an
if you want.
opportunity to speak.
You know, every time one of you guys speak, I wait until the next meeting and I get my chance to say something.
Because
why
you
it
have to
goes
go
on
home and
forever
make
and
your
ever
little
and ever.
speech
So-
on Facebook.
I'm going off of the agenda. Number 18 is executive session to discuss the minutes of meetings lawfully closed under the OMA, whether for purposes of approval by the body under the minutes of semi-annual review of the minutes as mandated in section 2.065 ILCS 120/2C21, and the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, and dismissal of specific employees 5 ILCS 120/2C1, and the operation by a municipality of a municipal utility or the operation of a municipal power agency or municipal natural gas agency when the discussion involves 1, contracts dealing with the purchase, sale, or delivery of electricity or natural gas 5 ILCS 120/2C23. That's a mouthful. Can I get a motion to go into executive session?
Before we go into executive session, I'd like to make the request that item number 3 be either its own set of minutes or its own session.
Item number 3 is Pledge of Allegiance.
No, item number
Are you
3
talking
out of
under-
the exclusions.
Yeah.
About the
Exclusion.
sale of the municipal utility. I either want that as its own separate set of minutes or I want it as its own session because the other 2 items can be resolved and be released. That one may go on for a while and it shouldn't hold up the other 2 items that we're going to go in there and talk
Let
about.
me ask, is that something that we can do?
Well, you'd have to go in, come back out, go back in. So you could do that. But Tony, so that we're clear, this is to discuss the IVCC situation.
And that should be separate
Yeah.
from the other 2 matters.
If you want.
Otherwise, what
You
happens
said the
is,
sale and we're not
yeah,
selling a utility. I thought
No,
maybe
but-
you were misguided as to what that was about.
I'd just like for that exclusion to be its own item.
So do you want to go,
Well,
Then you'd have to go in and out twice.
That's fine.
all I can
Okay.
advise you.
so do you want to go into executive session for
For
the first 2
the
items
first
right
2
now? Or do you want to go into
exclusions.
for number 3 right now?
Let's go in for 3 and then we'll come back for 1 and 2.
Okay, so we'll do number
That'll
3.
work.
Can I get a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make a motion to go in.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge,
No.
Moyle,
Aye.
McDermott,
aye.
Stefanelli,
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. Okay, so it looks like we'll be a little bit different. So we're going to go in for 1 item. We'll come out. I got to read it again. Okay, then we'll go in for the next 2 items. The only expected action items we have for the rest of the meeting is to release the executive session minutes, which will be basically just listing off those dates.
What about the resignations that are on the agenda?
That's nothing, it's not on our agenda.
It's not on. It's not on your agenda.
I don't have it on mine.
Going to be even longer. I'm surprised that many people are still here yet. All right, we're back in open session. Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Here.
Moyle.
Here.
McDermott.
Here,
Stefani.
Here.
Kern.
Here. All right, I need a motion to go into executive session to discuss the minutes of meetings lawfully closed under the OMA, whether for purposes of approval by the body of the minutes or semi-annual review of the minutes as mandated in section 2.065 ILCS 120/2C21, and the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees 5 ILCS 120/2C1. Can I get that motion?
I'll make a
that
motion to
motion.
go in. Second.
Roll call, please.
one or the other.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Moyle.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye.
gave you a promotion. That's why you're gonna be coming up here, so. Yeah, right.
Okay.
Let's wait for him to sit down. All right, we're back in open session. Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Here.
Here.
Here. Okay, number 19 is we got release executive session minutes and destroy verbatim recordings as allowed per the Open Meetings Act. And I believe there is a specific motion we're going to do for what we're going to release. Would you like to?
Yes, the destroying verbatim recordings, we're not doing anything with that. We're not going there. I will be making a motion to release the minutes from the following: October 2nd of 2023, May 20th of 2024, June 3rd of 2024, July 1st of 2024, August 5th of 2024, all executive session minutes. I make the motion to release all those.
Second.
You know,
Roll call, please.
good job.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Boyle.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye.
And
Number 20 is adjournment. Can I
I'll
get
make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Boyle.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Good job.
So this is what I get from my partner.
I'm sorry.